Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome back to Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. Do not be fooled by the fancy name. It's such a fancy name. Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. People get it wrong all the time, but that's the name. But it's just me and some friends talking about baseball cards. And yes, we are back with part 2 of the 1914 Miracle Braves. I am joined again by Michael. Let me bring you out, sir, and wish you a happy and a good afternoon. Hopefully
Same
you're doing well.
I'm doing very well, thank you.
People will know that we're in the same shirts because we're recording the same day as part 1. But that's okay. It's a little bit later in the day.
Yeah.
And we went for an hour and 12 minutes or something on part 1. Part 2, I think we're going to go through the players a little more quickly because they're sort of the part-time players, the bit players. But we start off with the big boys, and then we get to the bit players a little later on. So let me bring it up. There we go. So Johnny Evers or Evers, he pronounced it himself Evers, but he said everybody else called him Evers, so he was fine with either. So I've gotten into Evers because that seems to be what people call him in the hobby. But Evers is the way I used to say it in the old days when it was Tinkers to Evers to Chance.
Yeah.
Part of the famous Cubs infield of the aughts, World Series hero, Hall of Famer. Later on in his career, he started asking for more money, and they started not wanting to give him money. So in 1913, at the end of the season, he asked for a raise, and they wouldn't give it to him. I guess they wanted to take money away from him. So he said, "Screw you," and they traded him, or they sold him to the Braves, thinking he was a washed-up middle infielder. And so what did he do in 1914?
He is just a force of nature they unleashed with that bad treatment. That's all you can say.
Well, I looked up, they say this 1914 Braves team was, the pitchers had the gaudy numbers, and everybody says the pitchers were great. And, the hitting was, I think Butch Schmidt led the team in RBIs with like 80 or something. They were not a big hitting team, but what they could do is they could field, particularly the middle infielders. Evers was like 35 at this point, something like that. Not maybe. Let me check.
I think he'd been in the majors
30,
about 16
years. He was 32. He was 32 years old, and Moranville was new. But I looked up the, advanced stats of fielding are questionable anyway. Advanced stats for fielding that happened 112 years ago, maybe not so good. But everybody says they were the great fielding team. The advanced stats back it up.
Yeah.
He had like a defensive WAR of like a 2, and Moranville was like a 4. Moranville was the best fielding shortstop of his era and the best fielding player that season by advanced stats. So the two of them, not only their reputation and what people say about them that season, but statistically, the two of them were fantastic. So Johnny Evers that season, let me just look at his line. 1 home run, 40 RBIs, 279 batting average, which you would say, okay. But 5 WAR. So he won the most valuable player, and he won the World Series. So the Cubs, screwed up.
Yeah, they did. And he got a car that he didn't want to drive when he won that title.
So he went back to the Cubs, I think, to manage at one point, because all 3 of them, Tinkers, Evers, and Chance, all managed the Cubs at one point. I know Tinker went back after the Federal League because they pushed him out. He went to Chicago with the Whalers in the Federal League, won the title in 15, and then came back, and the Cubs gave him the job in 16. I think Evers went back later on to manage. But anyway, so the cards. It looks like the same image is used for the first 3 of those cards.
Yeah.
It's the where is it? The one on the left is a 19 10 standard caramel. Again, he's with Chicago with that one, which I wasn't crazy about. I want to find him with Boston, but I got him with Boston in the 2 in the middle. So 19-cent standard caramel, absolutely beautiful front. Look at that front, and it's a 1.5. You know why it's a 1.5? Because there's some glue residue on the back.
Oh, brother.
So
yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
That
indeed.
front.
That's a beautiful
color.
orange. Oh man.
And then the M101 is a blank back, but it's a 4, and I think it's one of the highest graded examples of this card. And it says Johnny Evers, second base, Boston Braves. So that's what I like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this I'm not sure if this is no, it's not. This is a picture though with the Cubs, because he's got the C on the jersey, and that's very clearly not Braves Field behind him. But then they used the same picture for his 1914 Cracker Jack, which has him on the Braves. And remember, I told you we'd see some missing corners in my cards. There we go.
But I mean,
this is a 14. It's the only 14 Cracker Jack that I own.
But it's missing corn, but the color's just gorgeous. Look at the picture of that thing. I mean, it's a beautiful card. Who cares if it's authentic? It looks fantastic. Yeah.
You know what was also great about it was if you get this card in like a 1.5 or 2, it's like a $2,000 card.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My hammer price on this was exactly $700 in the REA auction about 3 years ago.
Wow.
And I was very happy to get a 14, to get Evers on Boston, and to get a Cracker Jack. And I already had several Cracker Jacks from the Braves at this point, and I figured might as well get at least 114 to mix into my collection. So and then the one on the right is also with Chicago, but I was at the National, and Henry Reynolds, who was a great dealer and a friend, had this card, and I was just blown away by the yellow and the green. And of course it's Evers, he's on Chicago, but it's the Bruners bread card, and the back is terrific.
They're gorgeous.
Advertising back.
Yeah.
So those are my 4 Johnny cards, and I know you have some good ones. So there's a Cracker Jack.
Now I've had that one for a long time, actually. You can see by the PSA logo. And I really didn't buy a lot of graded cards back in the day, but yeah, I was lucky. I mean, it's got a little, let's see, it's got a little crease you can see in there in the lower part of it. Let me see if I can non-glare it a little bit. Yeah, see that crease up there?
Yeah. That's not
right there. Not bad.
So it got an authentic. I'm assuming it's a size thing, right?
No, it doesn't even mention that. It could be a size thing, but it doesn't. Usually it'll say trimmed or something like that, or size not met, but no, it doesn't. I can't really, I'm looking at it, and I mean, it's got it's fairly well centered. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's a perfectly nice card.
I'll tell you why.
If you said you bought that a while ago, but if you bought that now, that's very clearly 4 digits on that card, probably closer to 1,500 on that.
Oh yeah. But and when I see that on sites, I just shake my head. I go, "Oh my God! How would you do it now?" Right?
Yeah. Oh. Now the card after that, and I should say this: I am a strict playing day only guy.
Yeah.
But occasionally, a card like this, it's is it the 48 exhibits, I think? Or
48. Yeah.
Yeah. These are nice cards. It's a nice set. I like that sort of Roman thing on the side, like the columns, which is cool. And it's a nice picture, which you don't see that often. Now 48, I think it's 48. I think Johnny passed away in 47 or 46, something like that. He didn't live long in his life.
Yes, that's right. I think you're right on the date. Yeah.
So it's almost kind of a memorial card in a way, like that 48 leaf Babe Ruth.
Ruth, yeah. And it's nice because it's got him in his 20s uniform. when they went to the on the brave on the chest, that circular, which I don't know if I've ever seen a jersey that's out there like that, that survived. But I thought that was a pretty nice looking jersey back then.
Well, he played one game for Boston in 1929 at the age of 47.
Oh my God.
must have been managing. Let me see. I have to look up his managing stats. Where's this? Yeah, I clicked on managing stats. What are you doing here? Yeah, the Baseball Reference is giving me a little bit. So anyway, now this is one that I am definitely looking for, which is the coupon. Again, it says Boston on the bottom, but they still have it in the Cubs.
Right. And that's with the 3 cards of Braves in the 1914 Type 2 set of 213. I don't think any of them are right as far as what the details are. As you pointed out earlier, on Rudolph, they just removed the Toronto from his chest, but they did put Braves down there. On Evers, they didn't even change the uniform, And then the third one's out there, I mean, it's like, and maybe, do you feel like that's part of the rarity of it, or is it just a low pop, or what do you think?
I think it's just the pops are definitely low. I mean, particularly the 1918, which is, I guess, the Type 3.
Yeah.
The Rudolph in that is only like 8 of them or something.
Wow.
And yeah, these pops are under 50. Which, the T206, the pops are hundreds of this card.
Yeah.
It's just not well known. I think the coupon, I have never touched an ungraded example of these, but I think they're thinner than the T206, which, I've touched many T206s and they're like, real cardboard.
They're very substantial.
So you end up, I have a Joe Tinker coupon also with him with the Federals, with Chicago, the Whales, and it is also like creased because it looks like it's thin paper. So that's part of it also. But it's like you don't see them that often. They're pretty rare. They're not as well thought of as the T206s, and I think you end up with some of the artwork. Like I said, he's on Boston on the bottom, but he's very clearly wearing Chicago. They didn't put that much effort into changing the teams. Which T206 they actually did put effort into changing the teams.
Oh yeah.
So
and it may be because it's more local too, because as you see there, it's coming from Louisiana, so maybe that's part of it too. They just, hey, good enough, throw it out there. But it is a tough. I tell you, I did have to look far and wide for this one, and of course, I got what I could. I literally, this is. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This is the one I found. I could afford it. It was, I got to admit to you, it's not a cheap card, but
oh no. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I just grabbed it. Fellow Brave collector, you're all over that. You understand that. Sometimes when you need one, you got to go for it,
I mean, that's why I don't have any of his T206 cards. I think he has 3 in the set.
Yes.
Because they're Chicago cards. If I had a Boston card, and there is one, and it's one that got away. There is a caramel card. I'm not sure what the title and what the verdict's number is for it, but it is a red card with Johnny Evers on Boston.
Oh wow!
And I'm not sure what the issue is, but it was available to me at the National in 2024. I haggled over price. I couldn't get to one that I liked, and I let it go. And it had a bad crease in it, so it was not like a particularly attractive card, but I've never seen one since. And so that's one that got away. But when you see Johnny Evers on Boston, that's a card to pick up, and this would definitely be one of them, regardless of what uniform he's wearing.
Yeah.
So then we talk about Moranville. His defensive WAR for 1914 is over 4. It's like unheard of number.
It's ridiculous.
You got a defensive WAR of 2. You had a fantastic season. Yeah. His is twice as good as that. I mean, he was just, And if you look at him, we'll see the photograph that you have. I'm not going to spoil it, but you have a particularly nice photograph of him and Evers. Evers is much taller than him. I didn't realize that
I
Moranville was
I
that
didn't
short.
either. No, I didn't either till I got the photo. That's weird.
So with Moranville, he's got a lot of cards. He played for a long time. He's got, obviously on the left, he's got the Cracker Jack, which I believe is a rookie card, technically.
Yes.
But he plays throughout the entire decade of the 20s. He even goes into the mid 30s. He's got a card in the Gaudy set. He's got a card in the Diamond Stars set. I mean, he goes all the way from, his rookie year is like 12 or 13 and 14 all the way into the mid 30s. So he's got a lot of cards. I don't have all of them. I'm never going to have all of them because he's in many, many sets, but it gives me an opportunity, like I said before, to get some cards and some sets that I don't have many of. I do have a pretty good selection now of the cash-in cards, but I saw the cash-in is the one in the middle. It's a cash-in. I did a whole show on it. Cash-in Publications out of New York City. Beautiful picture. I believe it's a Conlon photo. And you can see it's a 4. It's really nice, really sharp. I bought that actually ungraded and sent it in. The one on the right, I believe, is the W572, which is a tough set. And I got this off of REA, but look at how sharp it is. It's a 5.5. Really, really nice.
Beautiful.
Now, the thing about the Cracker Jack, and you have the same good part of this, is that a lot of these Cracker Jacks with the coloring on his face, there's like a shadow under his nose.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, it looks like he has a mustache of a terrible dictator from World War II.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I wanted an example of this card that did not have that like really unattractive anomaly. So I ended up paying up a bit for this in one of the REA auctions. As you can see through the middle there, it looks worse on the photograph than it does in real life. It's like it's not a crease. It's almost like a kind of a bend in the middle there. But otherwise, and it's a little diamond cut, but otherwise this one brought me to within one card of completing my Cracker Jack Braves build. And we'll get to the last one in a little bit, but this was a kind of a big deal for me. So I'm happy to have it.
Yeah.
Also, now you have the same good thing about the Moranville. You got some of the natural. This is not one of those mail-aways. This has some of the Cracker Jack staining on it, which is like authentic patina, as they call it. Yeah. But you also have the clean. You have the clean upper lip also, which is good. And very, very nice example. And then the blanket. Go ahead. Show me the.
No, I was going to say it's a 15. It's not a 4. It's a 15, obviously, as well. But
he doesn't have a 14.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's raw. I don't know if I'll ever grade it, Dan. I'm not much. I buy graded cards, but I have to admit to you, I've never graded a card myself. I've never sent one in other words. Yeah. And I'm like you. I love. If it's a question of a SGC holder or something else, and it's comparable, or let's say the cards are comparable, I think those SGC holders are amazing. I think they're the best holders there ever was.
It looks very good with the red. I like the black and red together.
Absolutely.
I think it really brings out the color. Yeah. In these Cracker Jacks, but. Now, the blanket, I have seen this blanket. I'm not a blanket guy, to be honest with you. I don't have any of them. I'm just one of those things. And I should, I mean, there's 9 Braves in the set. I should have one.
Well, they're still affordable, too. The lower end players are the non-Moranville, Hank Gowdy, Dick Rudolph's a little up there now. But relative to anything, but it's the thing of it. Okay, what do? I've got them I've got an album of the Braves, the things that I'm not putting on the wall or whatever. of non cards, but just that. So I found some slips to put them in, page slips to put them in.
Yeah.
And, unless you're going to mount them, but then you're giving up a lot of wall space, right? Because the
Yeah.
only way to really do it is to, put them up in a frame, like all 9 of them. That'd be neat, but I don't have the space. I don't want to give
Yeah,
up
that would take up a lot of space.
it would
Yeah.
take up a lot of space. But I hear you. I mean, I would encourage you. I don't know if they'll ever get more expensive. That's probably a good thing if you want to get them.
Yeah,
I've
it would
seen
be
some of them.
Rudolph would be the guy. I would go for Rudolph because I'm collecting him sort of also
Yeah,
separately from the Braves.
and you can get a nice one. You don't want to get, I've got a little crease on my Moranville, but a lot of them, if you're picky and take your time, you can find some that are nicely pressed out. They look great, and you could probably get a Rudolph. I'll bet you for a little over 100, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but some of the Braves are like they're like $30, $25. So
Yeah, we'll see.
I
We'll
think
get
it's
to it.
what you talk about, the blanket thing. What do you do with it? It's not really like a card. It's not really collectible per se. But I just had to get them. When you're, sometimes you can't help yourself.
You get them all at once. There you go. So
Yeah.
this is now, interestingly, it's the same image as the blanket.
Yeah.
This type 1 photo, which that to me is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's
because again, his lifetime WAR, defensive WAR, is something like 20 something. I mean, he's literally, he's not Ozzie Smith, but he's good. So
look at the size of this thing. Let me see if I can get the glare off there, and it's as clean and crisp an image as you want to see. And the back, of course, has all the marks on it and everything. But anyway,
it's
a gorgeous card. And I got this off an auction.
Yep.
And this isn't that long ago. I mean, it hasn't been around for very long. So for me,
it's a beautiful piece to display.
Thank you.
So you also have the cash in, but you got 5. Nice. Now what's the item in the middle?
Well, before that, I got to tell you, you think you guys always poo-poo, you and Tony both, you poo-poo your guys' viewership. And I always tell Tony, and I'm going to tell you guys in a positive way influence a lot of us. You may not hear it, but you do in a very positive way. Dan, I watched your cash-in show. That's why I got the Moranville. It's because of the show. And I've got other cash-ins now. I went on a Braves, because I don't just collect the 14. I collect, as long as they were in Boston, I collect the Braves.
Right.
Okay. And now, thanks to you and Tony again, and it's both you together on that one you guys did on the 48.
Yeah.
Then it made me go into Milwaukee a little bit after when they left.
Right.
Because I started looking at stuff. So anyway, I don't know if I should thank you or be mad at the two of you, but anyway, but I had to say that because you brought up the cash-in again, and I did want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the show, and it influenced me. It made me do a little homework, and I've got some nice pieces now, thanks to you, Dan. So thank you for that.
Also, I should add that Jason, who is one of the best guys around, he was my partner on that show, and he did a fantastic job researching and bringing his selection in. Of course, he has the Babe Ruth, which is the big one. But that cash-in show was a lot of fun in large part because I got to do it with Jason.
Now, to answer your question on that, again, that's an eBay purchase. Again, I don't think a lot of people see these things. This image is absolutely amazing. Okay, and it's a good size. It's a supplement, so it's big.
Right.
It's probably 12 by 14 at least, and it's an anniversary. If you read the caption below, it's his, I believe it's his 25th anniversary or something. And so they're celebrating him for 25 years being in the major leagues or whatever. And but I thought, man, what better image can you get of Moranville than that? That is a super image.
That might date back to, I mean, that uniform is 14. They wore that uniform. So
absolutely. Yeah. I would say more than not that is 1914, because they're kind of touting that in the little caption below. But
whenever you can get a photograph you haven't seen before, I mean, that's a no-brainer to pick that up.
Yeah. And that one I'm going to professionally, I'm going to put that on the wall. I'm going to move things around because that's such a great image. I'll lose the wall space for that one.
Yep. And then the W514, we'll see another one of those later on from a different player, but that I'm familiar with that set. Yeah. 1919, 1921. Great set. Strip cards, which is why it's an authentic, but also pretty decent images. I've got 3 or 4 cards from that set, and one will, like I said, one we'll see later. But this Moranville's pretty good. I've never actually owned that card, and it's one that I probably should get because I like the set.
Yeah,
and then now you got this photograph here. What's going on here?
Sometimes, I'll even go on a limb and I'll buy something that's just ridiculous. So it's dated 35 when he was still playing for the Braves, when Ruth was on the team and all that. But the image, and I guess that's just how the news folks did it back then. The image is from 14 or around that era, much earlier. The cap, the jersey, you see it's got the little stand collar. I look at uniforms. That's kind of how I date stuff. And there's no way that's a 30. That he's much younger. That's in the zone we're talking about today. But it's just a lot of people would pass this up as garbage, and I've got it in an album, in a sleeve. But it's when you look at the picture, it's really a clear image of his face and cap and all that. So anyway,
it's a good one. And then I brought in these last ones here because they're all with Pittsburgh, which he went to later on. But these are the examples that I brought up of issues that I normally wouldn't have cards in. So I mean, I do have other E121s like on the left, but the one in the middle, which is that like great stare down photo, is a W575-2. I think I have 2 total cards in that set. And then the one on the right is the 501, which I don't have any other cards in this set. And they're all very, very sort of 20s-ish looking cards, black and white, that very, that's the 20s size. Many of the strip cards and or like, caramel cards from that era look like this. But these are also, the 2 photos on the left and right are the same. But the one in the middle, I really cool. And it's like a facsimile auto also. That's not his real auto above his, like on his right shoulder there. So, 20s cards, they're not Braves cards, but there are Moranville. And when he pops up and they're this, interesting, I'll pick them up.
Absolutely.
So now this, I referenced it before, is just fantastic. Tell me about what we're looking at here.
This is a photograph from them because Stallings moved the team for the spring training to Macon, Georgia. And so you can see at the top it says at Macon. But what's so amazing, I can't believe I own this. Now, I'm not going to put it on the level of your tuxedo box at all, okay? But for me, and you always hear about, even in the old Ken Burns thing, you hear about the nickname of Evers there, right?
Yeah.
So come to find out, when I first saw this, I go, oh, okay. So and this was on eBay again, Dan. It's just amazing what's on there sometimes. And nobody was paying attention to it, I guess, or maybe they didn't believe what it was, but hell, it had the certificate with it and everything. Okay, so you see there, it's got Crab written across the chest of Evers. Now McGee is, as you pointed out, he's not on the team during 14. So this is 1915 spring training in Macon. So McGee's written there. And then champion, when you figure out who did all this, champion on his chest on Moranville, right? So he's got Crab, McGee, champion. You flip the card over, Moranville's the one that wrote all of that. And all the writing on the back right there that we see is his writing. It's his hand. And the certificate bears it out. It's him just writing on the photo, fooling around, you know. It's crazy.
You know, what's interesting, and I don't know if it's a perspective thing, but it looks like Evers is about 6 inches taller than Moranville in this photograph. I don't think he was that much taller than him, but he was definitely taller than him. Which is interesting because he's a second baseman. You know, you think shorter players, but the thing about McGee, and you know, you did send me his Cracker Jack, and I didn't include it because he's not on the 14 team. But at the end of the season in 14, they traded for him, and he was an all-star. I mean, this is a guy who drove in 100 runs in 13, and they traded for him because they needed their outfielders, and we'll find out a little later. They didn't have the greatest outfield in terms of production. They thought they were bringing in like a superstar to play the outfield, and they were just going to barrel through the league again in 15.
Sure.
Didn't quite work out that way, and we'll get into that. But so McGee was highly touted acquisition. They traded, I think, 3 players for him. But yeah, there he is between the two. I should mention Evers won the MVP. Moranville finished second, so that's first and second in the MVP voting, standing next to each other.
Wow.
And interesting that McGee has the black uniform on and they've got the white ones on.
Yeah.
And you do have the back and then the letter of authenticity, which is fantastic. Where did you, this is on eBay, right?
It was on eBay. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's got the JSA stamps all over the place. So
yeah. I don't know why someone else didn't pick it up. Maybe they didn't see it or whatever, but I'm sure glad nobody got it because you know, and again, a lot of these photos, even now, definitely back when I started collecting photos, but they're not that, a lot of them aren't that expensive. Now, I think they're getting that way in these auctions we're seeing here lately. But I think, you know, I'm just tickled to have it because he wrote that. That's so meaningful to me because he's a favorite player of mine. And like you, I collect him into the 30s. I've got all kinds of stuff on him. So
I'd like to get some of his autographs too. And he did not survive. No, that's not true. He was not at the 51 reunion, but he passed away not that long after the 51 reunion.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in very good shape, which may explain why he didn't show up because as you know, later in his career, he became a bit of a drinker and a carouser. And I don't know that he kept good care of himself. And by the time his career was over, he was living in Brooklyn, I think. And he wasn't, he probably wasn't in very good health. And like I said, he passed away like 53, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
very early.
So Hank Gowdy is an American hero.
Absolutely.
He's the first Major League Baseball player to enlist in the United States Armed Forces for World War I, and then was a reservist and volunteered at, I think, the age of 53 to go back into the service for World War II. And he was, I think, a sergeant or a captain. He didn't go overseas. He didn't go overseas in World War II, but he was he did training in the United States.
Yeah.
So was a major contributor to the war effort for both World War I and World War II. And in the 1914 World Series would have been the MVP if they had an MVP of the series. He batted something like .545 with a crucial home run in Game 3.
Absolutely.
And a big hit in Game 1. I think he might have driven in the first run of the series for the Braves. Yes,
I think so.
Or scored the first run, but he played a long time. He came up in the early. I think he was a McGraw guy, right? Didn't he come up?
Yeah,
with the
because
Giants?
he did, and he will go back and forth between the Braves and the Giants. Actually, He'll play
Yeah.
for the Giants again later on. So, yeah.
So the Giants converted him to a catcher because they had a first baseman. He was a first baseman, and they said, we'll put you a catcher. He was a tall, thin man, as we know from seeing the photographs.
Oh, yeah.
The first baseman was Fred Merkle, the famous Fred Merkle's boner guy.
Yeah.
And so they converted Gowdy to a catcher and then traded him to the Braves, and he became, the really solid. He wasn't a superstar, but he was a superstar in the World Series.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting that 1912 anonymous back T207, which is with Boston. And to the far right, the blank back M1015 or 4. Is it a 4? It's a 4. That's one of the first Braves I got also on eBay. And I just love that catcher, that pose where it's like,
absolutely.
And then, so let me talk to you a little bit about the middle. So at least about 6 months, maybe longer, I had the complete Braves set that I wanted. I didn't have the McGee or the Herb Purdue for the reasons we stated before.
Yeah.
But Gowdy was the last one, and I couldn't find the right copy. Somebody had a 14 that was in horrendous shape that was like $600. And the Cracker Jack Marketplace on Facebook, because I know I see your posts in there.
Yep.
There was a person in there whose name was a woman's name, and came in and said they had a bunch of Cracker Jacks ungraded, and graded them all, and then showed all the results. And this was the result for the Gowdy, a 5, which is a miraculous grade for one of these cards.
Yeah, it is.
And was selling it at a rate that I thought was, pretty fair for that high of a grade. In fact, even kind of lower, because I think the 14 was like $600 for a complete total beater, which I wasn't going to pay for.
No.
And I had multiple searches on eBay. I had made offers on eBay. I looked for it at shows. It was my target card at the National. There was no copies at the National. I wanted the 15 because I don't want to pay 14 prices. And so the name of the person being a woman was kind of a little bit, I don't know. I mean, there aren't that many women in the hobby, but to have a Cracker Jack collection like that. So some people thought that might have been a scam.
Yeah.
Because the name clicked. If you click through the name, I think there was a man involved, and the man was the person who I dealt with. Anyway, they had one it was on eBay. It was the same one. And then I got in touch with them, and I made a deal. And I got this for a very low price compared to what it should have gone for.
Yeah.
Because I think the person was not really a dealer, not really, just came into this collection and made a nice chunk of change on it, probably, and good for them. But got me my Hank Gowdy in a freaking 5.
Oh, man. And it is a beauty. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful card. Wow.
It's one of those that I really am shocked that I have it in a 5. And let me show you here.
Oh, it's even better there.
Yeah,
wow,
look at the color on it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I'm, absolutely overjoyed at getting that, and it completed my set. So it was almost like one of the perfect things to happen for me. So let me move on to my other Gowdies here. Gowdy meaning the player, not the set. I have the E121. We have the same basic thing. It's the E121, 1921.
Yeah.
Minimum size not met. Yours is the same. I don't know why.
I don't either.
I've got other cards from the set that size up the same, so I don't care. I got it cheaper as a result. Now the one on the right, and I showed the back also because the back is funny. It's Hafner's Big Tato Loaf, so it's like potato bread.
Yeah, I guess.
Like yellow bread. Yeah. My mom used to buy potato bread, and I loved it because it was different. A sure hit for the home plate. Hafner's Big Tato Bread. Now Hafner's back on these, it's the same photo as the E121, but it's an advertising back, and I think this is a Pop 1. I don't know that this. I remember when it came up in an auction, I didn't recognize it, and I was like, oh man, I should go on after that, and I did, and I got it.
Wow.
It was not that expensive. It was over $100, but it was less than $200.
Yeah.
And for, I believe it's a Pop 1. It might be Pop 2. I forget, but it was one of those where it's like this. I'm never getting this again. I
Oh
have to get this now.
no.
Now there was a Kest. I think Sterling's Auctions had Kester bread, or Koester bread of this card. Same pose, different advertising back, and that one went for like $300. And I got out of that, and it was only like it was the last Sterling auction, so it was maybe a month ago. And I got out of that pretty soon because I didn't want to pay up for it. I didn't feel like the Kester is rare, but it's not as rare as this Hafner. So
I've never even heard of that. That is an amazing.
I had never heard of it either. I just saw it. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that's got to be rare. And I went and looked, and the Pop was either 1 or 2. Anyway, so this again is the example that I talked about in part 1, where you can get, type collect cards from the set that also meet your collecting in a particular team. There's another
another blanket.
Another one of those Gowdy. He's got several of these poses where he's got the arms out, like he's not doing the catcher thing. He's got the arms out.
But you notice, and I might start looking for it. I've never seen him crouch as a catcher.
Yeah.
In a photo.
The M101, he's crouched a little bit, but he's still standing up.
He's still standing.
Look, it says.
Yeah, there you go. I've never seen him like a catcher stance. Never.
Yeah. Somebody at the Net 54 gathering saw this card and said, "Wow, I love that pose." I'm like, "Yeah, I've never seen it before, but it's interesting."
Yeah.
All right. Did we get to who we on next? Oh, yeah. Well, you got the now you have the Cracker Jack. How long have you had this one?
That's one of my first, I would say, Dan, 92. Because let me tell you, I studied him a little. This is way back 92, just getting into what we're talking about. And he was the first one. His story just spoke to me because being the war hero aspect was big for me. I mean, you can look at my card. It's still in the exact holder I bought it. I'll tell you where I got this card. I bought it. Yeah, those screw downs. I've never taken it out, right? I bought this card when I was on location in Pennsylvania working, and I would go on my weekends off. I would go to a card shop in Baltimore. And of course, back then, you don't write stuff down. I don't remember, but I went there religiously. It's a story. That's where I also traded for. This is a story for another time. But at that same card shop, you can imagine what a mecca this place must have been. And nobody was there. Every time I'd go to the card shop, nobody was there. Just me. Yeah. I got for a song, I got a Joe Jackson rookie candy card at that same shop. The only thing wrong with it was it, like kids did back then, not the hole punch we have today. It was a very thin and like almost oblong little clip at the top of the card, like the corner of the card.
Is that the one where he's got
purple
like red lipstick on?
Yes, that's the purple background, all of that. Yeah. So at that same shop.
You still have it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. And that's my story.
For another day.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question about this Gowdy Cracker Jack. Is it a 14 or a 15?
It is a 15. It's a 15. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the first that in fact
I think he's in the 14 set because I know there's a 14 that I was thinking about buying but didn't.
Yeah, because his number
only what, three Braves in the 14 set?
Only 3, I believe. Yeah, I believe you're correct. Yeah. But
we'll see another one. You got Herb Purdue later on. Interestingly enough, this is the Ferguson pennant here.
Right.
That I have the Rudolph in. You have the Gowdy, and it's the same photograph as the Gowdy on the M1015.
Yeah. But they're not the set. You wonder how do these things keep repetitiously being used by, different companies? Because it's not the same company producing the pennant. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same pose. And I've owned that a long time. I've had that forever. That one as well. Yeah.
So this is your E121,
Yeah.
which is also authentic, not met.
Yeah.
Likely just, printing 105 years ago.
Yeah.
They didn't, and not everything was cut exactly to the same specifications. So
No,
it's kind
but
of
if
a
you
ridiculous thing, but it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful card.
It's a beautiful card, and you think about all the 50, like a set, like a Topps card. Okay.
Yeah.
Late 50s, early 60s Topps, where the centering, you've got nothing on one side, right? You're right on the line, in other words, of the centering.
Yeah.
And look at this card, and yet that one will get whatever, and this card but you and I are the same page. We're the same ilk. I could care less. I bought the card, and it's a gorgeous card, and I love the card. That's it.
Yep. Beautiful. Now this one, you have it. I really, this is one of those ones I need to get because it's another one of those weird catcher poses where he's not crouching.
Yes.
And I love the ornate, the ornate sort of thing that he's inside of.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a little better.
That looks fantastic.
That look at the detail on the graphics surrounding him in the oval. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great. It's
but
the 122 or 120. I forget what it is.
Let's see.
120.
E120. Yeah.
So one other remark on this is the back has the has basically the checklist.
Yeah.
And it has, in fact, Fred Mitchell is the manager by then, 22, because Stallings only lasted through 19.
Yeah.
And then it has a roster of players, and there's nobody else on the team from 14 except for Gowdy.
That's it.
Which is interesting because there's also Billy Southworth as a player is on there. Of course, Billy Southworth would manage the only other pennant winners 34 years later, 1948 Braves. And also Richard Rube Marquardt, who was one of the pitchers that the Giants had in the pennant race in 1914, who didn't pitch very well down the stretch, helping the Braves beat the Giants in that pennant race. So interesting roster there, but nice back, beautiful card, definitely on my want list.
Oh yeah.
And then you get this, which again, fantastic photo. Pretty sure that's Braves Field, right? You think?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Again, I always go by the uniform. That's not 100%, but I think it's Braves. Look at the architecture back there, and Braves better than I, but I believe it is. I think so. I don't know who that is next to him, though. I've never determined who's the guy next to him.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to figure that out someday, maybe. Just for fun.
Let me know.
Yeah.
So here's the Colliers that we talked about with the tuxedo ad, which has Rudolph, as we know, and there's Gowdy. There are boxes with Gowdy on them. I've never seen one. I don't know if one exists, except for, like I said, the panel, only panel put together with Rudolph in a single presentation, which is a beautiful, beautiful piece there. And now you've said it's on the back of the Colliers front cover, which means it's not magazine paper, it's actually cover paper, which is good.
No, it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's just a gorgeous copy. There's no wrinkling. I think that's one reason it doesn't have that flimsiness, because it has the texture and depth of the cover of the magazine, which back then magazines had a stouter cover than a magazine would today. So what I think's interesting about it is, you can get that free pouch down there. When you get
also, it says Dick Rudolph and Hank Gowdy, star battery of the Boston Nationals, world champions, both smoked tuxedo.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that's true or not.
80s, so that was part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Butcher Boy, We're really we're slow. We're 21. We're only a few slides away. So Butcher Boy is Charles Butch Schmidt, who was the son of a butcher, a guy who owned a meat packing factory in Baltimore. And Schmidt got so big lifting up all that stuff that he got a nice big upper body. You can see it in that on the left. And he was a baseball player who played part-time for Baltimore and then part-time working in his father's meatpacking company. And Baltimore was, a minor league franchise. And in that 1912 Imperial Tobacco C346, it's a Canadian tobacco issue. I was able to get this Schmidt card. I don't remember where. It was either eBay or one of the auction houses. But I was so happy to get this, and I got this pretty early on.
I love that card, Dan. That is an amazing card.
Yeah. Now, we'll talk about the one in the middle in a second, but the one on the right was the first card of my Braves collection.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got this in the Brockleman auctions for like $40. It's a 5.5. And 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
Or March of 21, something like that. And it's not Braves Field. Somebody has corrected me. I thought it was Braves Field. Somebody corrected me. It's actually one of the Chicago fields.
Oh.
And I loved this picture so much. I won the auction when I was in Boston on the Boston Braves, right near Boston Braves Field on the campus of BU. So I was like, this is perfect. This is what's it called? Schadenfreude, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it all came together. And then I started researching Charles Butch Schmidt. And his story was amazing to me because he plays for Baltimore for a while. And then they pick him up. The Braves pick him up, bring him up in 13, and he's pretty good. And then he's terrific in 14. And they win the championship, and he's the first baseman, and he makes an amazing play in the first inning of the first game of the World Series. And he is pretty good in 15. And then after the 15 season, his father passes away. So he leaves baseball to go take over the meatpacking. He retires to go into meatpacking because his father passed away. Yeah. And so it's sad that his father passes away because it deprived us of more Butch Schmidt. Apparently very likable guy, very sort of gruff, but like, what you would expect from a guy who grew up in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
But he owns the facility and runs the facility with his sons who end up taking over because Butch Schmidt, he's at the 51 reunion. He dies in 52. He has a heart attack in the meatpacking plant and dies. His sons take over the meatpacking, and the two Schmidts run the meatpacking into like the 1980s. I think it was sold or to some big conglomerate or something in the 1980s. So Butch Schmidt's dad's meatpacking slaughterhouse, whatever you want to call it, lasted from the late 19th century all the way into the 1980s, and he's like right in the middle of it. And in the middle of being a butcher, he's a world champion for the 14 Braves. So there you go. and I told you there would be some more missing corners. There's another one of them in the Butch Schmidt.
But again, look at the color, though. I mean, you got to miss a little clip on the corner, but it's a nice card. Beautiful.
One of the things that I'm looking for is the Type 1 photograph of this Butch Schmidt that's used for the Cracker Jack. It exists out there. I have seen it. It is a work of art. I love this card. I love this Cracker Jack card so much, but the photograph is even better.
Wow.
And he's not playing for Boston in the photograph. And that B that's on his jersey here is a artist's rendition.
Okay.
But I want to get a Type 1 photograph of that. And eventually we'll see if it's out there. But I got this card. I think I bought this on eBay. It just popped up and I got it. I don't even think I I don't even think I put a best offer in. I think I just bought it because it was at a decent price.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it was because I know you were looking for it for a while.
Yeah. It was
But
the second to the last for me. Tyler was the last. So he came, I believe he came up. I may be confused one or the other, but both of those guys were near each other and they were the two last cards I needed. So, and I bought it raw.
and then
I had never, I couldn't find it graded or any otherwise. So
yeah. It's a low pop graded wise, probably because people don't grade him necessarily. It's not, nobody knows about him. It's a fascinating player and a champion. But and he led the team in RBIs. I mentioned that I think in part one. So a good player, but crazy story. And you also have the M101, the same card that started me on this journey. So I have a special place in my collecting heart for Charles Butch Schmidt.
There you go.
So the last guy we're going to talk about is Joe Connolly. Joe Connolly was the left fielder. He was also one of the major hitters on the team. I think he was second on the team in RBIs, and played, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. He was from Rhode Island. He ended up serving as a politician in the Rhode Island State Senate or State House or whatever it was.
Wow. Yeah.
He went into business. He was a coach, I believe, back in Rhode Island, and he worked with his sons, and he's a good guy. And he ended up, he's buried in Massachusetts because where he was from was literally like right next to the border of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the closest cemetery was actually in the state of Massachusetts. But Joe Connolly had a nice little career for the Braves, and of course, as a champion. I got the Cracker Jack a while back. I think it was an eBay. The Famous and Bar. Now I showed the back, but this one I took a photo of the back. There's 5.5. This one was one of the ones on eBay that I watched for a while, and then the price came down. I waited probably 6 months watching this one until the price came down, and then I bought it. So there you go. And then Connolly, you've got a beautiful example of the Cracker Jack, and then the blanket.
Yeah. And again, that Cracker Jack of Joe, it's a that's one of my first ones too. Not long, once I got Hank, then it kind of went for a while, and then I had to bow out, but I was lucky to get a lot of these early on, and so if the colors are good, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's a shame Cracker Jacks are so expensive now.
Yeah,
it really is.
I have theories on what happened with that, but we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah. I'd like to hear that because I've got a few to throw at you too. I bet we're about the same.
So we'll move on to some of the other guys on the team. We can go through these relatively quickly. Josh DeVore was a speedy outfielder for the Giants. In fact, he was a McGraw guy also.
Yes.
Spent 13 with the Reds, and then picked him up in the middle of the season. And he came in, and he was not great, but he was a speedster, and he was one of the platoon outfielders. And he also has a Cracker Jack card. He didn't play in 15 for Boston. I think he went to Philadelphia in 15, and then he was done after that. He went into the minors. We'll talk about that. Yeah. I'm sorry. He played 14 with Philadelphia and then came to Boston. He was on 13 in Cincinnati. So 14 was his last season. And there he is in a 1915 Postaco stamps, or Postaco. I have 2 of those. We'll see the other one in a little bit.
Wow.
Totally obscure issue. I'd never seen another issue of this in anybody's display cases until the Net 54 get together.
And then you did see some.
Then this gentleman named Val, who had one of those ridiculously amazing collections that you saw down there. He had a Postaco. I can't remember who the player was, but we kind of bonded over that because we were
Yeah.
the only ones in the room who'd ever heard of them. So,
Wow. And
now,
great.
Josh DeVore, because he was with the Giants, has a lot of he's in the T206 set. He's got a lot of different backs and stuff. This I bought on Facebook for like $25. It's got 2 pinholes in it, and I didn't even think about grading it. I just put it in one of those magnetic card holders. Now the one in the middle is cool because I found this in one of the Sterling auctions. It says 1914 coupon cigarettes, but it's not 1914 because it's Josh DeVore on Chilcott. After he was done in the major leagues, he spent some time in the minor leagues. And let me just see if I can pull up his minor leagues. He was a player manager for Chilcott in 1915, part of the season. He played for Chilcott and managed them, and also Charleston. Now, Chilcott is actually in Ohio. It was a minor league team in the Ohio League. And Charleston is not South Carolina. That's also an Ohio League team. And then he bounced around Milwaukee, Topeka, Joplin, Indianapolis in the Double-A, Grand Rapids. So, he played until like the 20s in the minor leagues. But, he spent some time. He came in, like I said, he came in with the Braves and had some a little bit of success, was a speedy outfielder, and helped them win. And that is, of course, another one of those coupon cigarettes. So I believe that should be dated 15 because DeVore didn't play for Chilcott in 14. And then we got a Fatima of the Reds. So why in the world would I be showing the 1913 Reds? And so I bought this card, and I've shown it on the channel before, because it has Rafael Almeida and Armando Marsans, who were pioneers. They were the first 2 Cuban regular players, and they played for Cincinnati, and this was essentially their rookie card, so to speak. But there's a lot of bonuses on this one. The manager is Joe Tinker. So I got a Tinker card here.
Yeah.
One of the pitchers is Joe Tinker's old friend from Chicago. Second from the right on the bottom is Mordecai Three Finger Brown. But the reason he's in this show, this card is in this show, is if you look, the third player from the right on the top is Josh DeVore. So I ended up just by happenstance. I didn't even know DeVore was on this team when I bought this card. So it ends up being part of my Braves collection, and it sits here on my right with a lot of my large oversized cards. So there's DeVore. Now you've got some DeVores. You've got the Cracker Jack, which it's not a hard card to find. It's number 47, so it's not a high number, but it's not inexpensive. I can tell you that much.
No, it isn't. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then you've got the coupon, but your coupon's with Philadelphia, which he didn't play with in 14. He played with in 15, although this is not dated. So you've got the coupon Philadelphia. I've got the coupon Chilcott. So we're complimenting each other on that.
And no Brave to be found, I guess. Any card. He just kind of didn't put it on a card, I guess.
No. Go back. Look. Postaco.
Boston. On that one. Yeah.
But he's on Boston Nationals in the Cracker Jack also.
Right.
But it's funny because these are both 15 cards, and he's not even in the major leagues in 15.
No. But I think you.
Oh, wait a second. Now we just checked this. Philadelphia he played for in 14, in the beginning of 14. That's where he got to the Braves. That is a 14 coupon.
So it was too late to change. That's right. I forgot about that. But I think for me, collectability or whatever scarceness of it, I think your Chilcoat is I've never even seen that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, when I saw it, I knew I was gonna get it. So I did. It was more than $100. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
So they had 2 third basemen. Charlie Deal is on the right there, and Charlie Deal was the regular third baseman in 13 and 14. He just wasn't that good. He just wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So Stallings wanted to replace him. So midway through the season, they got there was a problem between Red Smith. He's J. Carlisle Smith, is known as Red Smith, was a really productive third baseman for Brooklyn. He had conflicts with his manager Wilbert Robinson, and so they sold him to the Braves, and he was really productive up until the last day of the season when Red Smith broke his ankle in a slide. and did not play in the World Series. So Charles Deal got to play in the World Series as the third baseman. He got his job back. Now, if you look at this card on the right, it is a pencil signature. Charles Deal autograph.
Wow.
In a pencil. And it's authenticated by SGC, who no longer authenticates autographs. But
yeah,
Charles Deal did sign a lot. There's a lot of examples of his autograph online, and I've looked at it. And if it's a fake, it's a very good fake. But I don't know who's out there faking Charles Deal autographs in pencil.
Nobody. Yeah, no,
no, it's real. No. It's real.
Yeah.
And it's with the Cubs, because after his Boston career, he went to the Cubs and played there for a while. He wasn't that good, but you had about a 10-year career. And then that Red Smith, I bought that up in the Shriner Show in Boston a couple of years ago, and ungraded, and sent it in and got a 3. I think it's actually kind of undergraded, but what are you going to do?
I do too. It's a very clear photograph. I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. But hey.
And speaking of Red Smith, this is yours, and this is fantastic.
Yeah. It's a nice card. Again, you can see I got it on eBay. had to make the trip to wherever to get back to me after I bought it, but it's a beautiful card. It really is. Let's see. Go ahead. Yeah. I wasn't, this is only, lately with these I'm becoming more fond of these black and white cards. I don't think I was at first a while in my early collecting, but there's just as you say, they speak to you now, these photographs and everything. They're just amazing. And the back on this one is great. I love the graphic. It's just good stuff.
And there's Charlie Deal, a picture of him with his Braves uniform. That's probably from 14, right?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, the photograph's dated I believe it's dated 1919, but that's got to be from the World Series, I think, or that season anyway, the 14th season. Yeah. I love that uniform, by the way, that dark uniform.
Actually, he only played 2 years for Boston, so it would be either 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he lost his job and he skipped to St. Louis in the Federal League in 15. I'm looking at his numbers right now. And then he went to the Cubs in 16 and stayed with the Cubs to 21. So, this has got to be either 13 or 14. Most likely it's 14. Yeah. And you're right, it's probably World Series. Pretty sure that's Braves Field behind him.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Especially the top part of the photo looks very much like Braves Field.
Yeah, and that is type 1 very clearly.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into some of the guys that didn't do much.
No.
Ted Cather. I guess Ted Cather was a backup outfielder, right?
Yeah. And of course, with that rotation going, you're lucky to get any time, I guess. But
well, he played in 50 games according to Baseball Reference. So but he's in the Cracker Jacks, so we had to get him. Absolutely. I got him the same day I got Stallings. He was in the deal with Stallings in that. So happy to get that.
Oh yeah.
And then Herbie Moran was also an outfielder, and he was with the team for a while. He only played in 41 games that year, but Herbie Moran was on the team in 8, 9, and 10, then skipped to Brooklyn and then came back for 14 and 15. Weak hitting outfielder, but he ended up with not only a card in the Cracker Jack set, but he's also in the 1916 Homes to Homes. Now, this is one of the backs from the M1014 and 1015. And the story here is that, 10, 15 years ago, there was a discovery of a whole tranche of these cards. They were all in an album, and they were all extricated from the album with the same problems that this one has, that there's paper loss because they were glued into an album.
Yeah.
But they were at that point like some of the only known examples of cards with this advertising back. Homes to Homes was a Baker bread maker in the Washington, D.C. area. It's Holmes, like Oliver Wendell Holmes or Sherlock Holmes, Holmes, to Holmes, Homes. So from our factory to your home, essentially, is what it means. But they were bread makers, and they got some advertising on the M104, M105 cards. This Herbie Moran example is the only known copy of this card in the world.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so,
wow.
Yeah, but that's not Homes to Homes. They're most of the ones that are out there. There's only one known.
Yeah,
there's a few with 2 and 3. I think Joe Wood has maybe 2. I know the guy who has one of them. And again, the same gentleman who had the Postacco also had a Homes to Homes card. I think it was one of the Giants. I can't remember which Giant it was. But he had one of the Giants, and he had a Homes to Homes back that did not have the paper loss like that. So it might have come from a different source. But yeah, this is a pop one and only known example. So Herbie Moran, he wasn't much in the outfield, but for card collectors, beautiful to get him.
He's up there. Yeah.
Wow. And so you also have this Crackerjack. Man, this is sharp.
It is.
Look at the corners on that.
Yeah. It's and again, I've had this one a little while, but yeah, you're right. The corners, everything about it is there we go.
Yeah. That is beautiful.
Little staining, which makes it real. So
that's real, yeah. I mean, that's the 15. So the 15s, you're either getting the staining or you're getting the super clean ones that came from the factory. So Herbie Moran, somehow or another got a Crackerjack card, even though he played 40-something games that year.
Go figure, right? Oh my God.
And then we got I put together these guys. Burt Weiling was a backup catcher, but he has a Crackerjack card. This is the other Postacco. Eugene Cockerham was a pitcher. He pitched parts of 2 seasons, but he was on the 14 team. I think he was from the Midwest, and his brother was also a pitcher.
Yeah.
And one of the key pickups during the season, not just DeVore and Red Smith that we talked about, but also George Possum Whitted. Possum Whitted was an outfielder, pretty decent outfielder for a bunch of different teams. I got his W514 in a group of them. He's on, Philadelphia at that point. He only played for Boston for that 1/2 a season, I believe. Let me pull him up. But 66 games, he batted .261. He was very good in the World Series. Indeed, he was traded to Philadelphia in 15. In fact, he was part of the Sherry McGee trade. So he only played part of a season with the Boston Braves, but batted 3rd in the lineup in one of the games in the World Series. So he was a good hitter and a good player and a good acquisition at the time. You've got the Burt Weiling, not just the Crackerjack in a 3, nice, but also somehow Burt as a backup catcher ended up with a blanket.
Yeah, he's actually crouching a little lower than Hank. So
he knows to bend his knees.
He does.
And this is your Eugene Cockerham. I don't know how this guy got a photo, but
and getting ready for this, because I've had the photo for quite some time. Getting ready for this, I realized, man, this is obscure. What is going on with this guy? It's crazy, but it's a beautiful picture of him.
Pitched in 15 games total, 3 starts. 3 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah.
And he pitched in 13. He pitched 1 game in 13, 15 games in 14, 1 game in 15. So about as obscure as you can get.
Yeah.
And then you've also got, is this Red Smith? I forget. Oh, no.
No, that's Les Mann.
Oh, Les Mann, right. I don't have any Les Mann cards, which is something that I need to correct because he's got some. And there he is. I don't know if that's Braves Field or not. I don't think it is, actually. And then you've got Les, one of the platoon outfielders gets a blanket.
Yeah, he got a blanket.
And then Griffith, who barely played, gets a blanket.
Yeah, I'm telling you. That's why they're $25 on eBay.
That is, let me check his name. Tommy Griffith.
Yeah.
Played in 16 games and batted 104. So I don't know how with you bat 104, you get a blanket.
Yeah.
But Oscar Doogie, he played. I don't have a Doogie card, and I didn't get it because he's on St. Louis in this. No, he's not on St. Louis. He's on Philadelphia. He was also part of the Sherry McGee trade.
Yep.
Batted 193, but supposed to have had a bunch of good hits.
Yeah. And he was the one. He's really, it's a weird part of the story. Stallings assigned him to keep the dugout clean from trash and everything. I'm not kidding. That's a true story. I mean, I thought, and I don't know, it almost seemed like this guy was proud to be the cleaner of the dugout. I don't know. It's strange because that was one of Stallings' pet peeves about the trash in the dugout. So,
and what did he get for it? He got shipped to Philadelphia in the Sherry McGee trade.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
So I don't know if he was cleaning out the dugout for Philadelphia, but he didn't play very much. And then he ultimately played for St. Louis because somebody wrote St. Louis National on it too.
Yeah.
On the card.
Yep.
So this player is very, very well known. He won like 180 games in the major leagues, mostly in the 20s and 30s. World Series hero for the Giants in the 30s. Adolfo Luque, Dolph Luque, a Cuban legend, probably should be in the Hall of Fame. But why is he in this video? Because Dolph Luque pitched 2 games for the 1914 Braves.
Amazing.
So he was on the team. I collect him independently of the Braves, and I collect him independently of the Braves anyway. So these are all Reds cards, and these are all this is a Giants card. He's in the Gaudy set, but he's also in the Caramel Deportivo set. And he's a manager for Almendares. And so what's great about this card is that this is the only graded example of this card, but it's not the only example in the world because I saw an ungraded example at the Net 54 event.
Wow. Wow.
So they're out there. It's not the rarest thing, but so I just wanted to stick Luque in there because he is on the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
If Griffith, if 104 batting 104 Griffith gets a blanket, then Dolph Luque should get in our video.
He gets a card.
So this is part 2. Part 3 will be next week. Part 3 will cover the World Series. We'll talk about the Philadelphia A's because they're an interesting story. If the Braves, the 14 Braves were the team that built Braves Field because of their success, they were the team that broke up the Philadelphia A's. We'll get into that also because the Philadelphia A's were a dominant team in 13. They won the pennant in 14, and then they got swept in the World Series, and then they all dissipated to different teams, and it's kind of a sad story, but that's what Connie Mack did, and he did it again in the 20s. In the 30s, early 30s. He got rid of all his star players too that year. Anyway, so we're going to have a part 3, and then we've got Mike's got some amazing stuff that goes after the Braves 14 season, sort of the aftermath stuff. So not much left in my collection. I do have a couple of things to offer for part 3, but it's mostly going to be Mike's wonderful collection. Sir, I would thank you again for spending another hour and 18 minutes with me on this amazing journey through the 1914 Braves season and all the things that surround it and the players and the happenings. And it's just been a wonderful time so far. And we got another one to go.
That sounds great. I really appreciate the opportunity, Dan. It's been amazing. And I've had the time of my life. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we got one more.
Yeah.
Viewers, if you can hear the excitement in my voice, it's real. I just absolutely love this team, this story, all these players. There's so many things going on. I just love being able to tell the Butch Schmidt story, which I've been holding in for years. It's the first time I get to tell it. And sorry, I did a lot of the talking on this episode. Mike's got the bulk of the material for the next episode, so we'll let Mike do a lot more of the talking next time, so you don't have to hear my voice so much. But thank you for tuning in. Come back next week. Mike and I will have different shirts for that show. I promise.
We will. Yes,
but we will cover the finale of the Braves 14 Braves story and all the other surrounding stuff, and it's been fantastic, and I hope that everybody has enjoyed this and you'll continue to enjoy part 3. So take care, folks. See you next week.